listening to the Introverted Black Girl.
Follow me at IBG Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at the IBG Podcast. So for Podmas number 7/8, this is going to take the place of 7 and 8. Just kidding. It's going to be Podmas 7. I'll upload twice one of these days, so you'll get like a double podcast upload. I was having some technical difficulties before, but today I wanted to talk about polygamy or polyamory, whichever one. So I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I talk about this, because I feel like in America, at least, I think that we can all agree that it's pretty uncommon. But I'm starting to see that the idea of having a polygamous relationship is starting to become a little bit more normal. Like, I'm hearing more people outwardly express that they're in polyamorous or polygamous relationships. And it's interesting. So I wanted to talk about this from the perspective of I was going to talk about this in an objective way, but I don't really feel like it. Let me tell you why I think polygamy and polyamory even exists. And I think that it dates all the way back to biblical times, because you can see record of polygamous relationships in the Bible. So even in old ancient texts, polygamy was talked about. So I can't remember exactly what character in the Bible was in a polygamous relationship, so let me go ahead and look it up. 1 second. I think it was Abraham, right? And then he had many sons. He was out here like having many children. Sound familiar? Black men. So apparently Solomon in the Bible had 700 wives and 300 concubines. And now I don't really know what concubine is. I don't know the actual definition of it, so let me go ahead and look it up. Wow. So the definition of a concubine is a woman, an woman, who lives with a man but has lower status than his wife or wives. So basically the thoughts. So he had 300 thoughts and 700 wives. So let's see who else had multiple wives and thoughts on standby. At least they had their thoughts living in the home. Okay, so another set of men who had multiple wives. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names properly, but I know Abraham. So he had multiple wives. Somebody named Abdon, another person named Abijah, Ahasuerus, I don't know, Ashur, Belshazzar. So there was mad people in the Bible, mad men in the Bible who had a bunch of wives. Let's see. I want to know about Abraham though. It says Sarai Abrams. Oh, his name is also Abram. So Abram or Abraham had a wife named Sarai, and she had no children for him. Apparently, she had a handmaid, an Egyptian who was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abraham, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. Oh, snap. So she told him to go inside of his maid. Oh, and her maid. Go into my maid, apparently. So she told him to go sleep with somebody, so that it can be that she have children now. So she told him to go have sex with her maid so that they can have a child. That's crazy. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. So what else does it say? First off, I feel like any woman who tells their husband to go and be with another woman, I don't think that there's no way in the world she really likes him. I don't think that whoever Sarai was liked Abraham like that. Could you imagine? It says, and Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abraham, to be his wife. Oh, snap. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that. So apparently, Abraham was instructed to be with another woman and marry another woman because his first wife couldn't have a child. That's crazy. Let's see what else. Who else? Ahab. Oh, I said that already. Caleb, apparently. David. David in the Bible had multiple wives. Let's see what it says. It says, wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew of the Philistines 200 men, and David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in a full tale to the king, that he might see. Sometimes, like, reading the Bible, like, it makes you sound illiterate, because you read an old text, and in modern times, like, there are just certain things that you wouldn't say, or like certain words that you need to make words sound like you actually went to school. So now that I'm reading it, it just sounds like I can't read, but I promise you, I promise y'all that this is the way it's read. Like, those are the words there, and I'm not even going to go through it. Basically, the Bible speaks about polygamy. And also, even in the Muslim or Islam belief, let me make sure that I'm saying that right, because I always get mixed up. Is Islam is the religion, or is Islam the people? Islam is the religion of the Muslims. Got it. So in Islam religion, I believe that in their religion they believe that if you go to heaven, somehow men are going to be promised like a bunch of virgins in heaven or something like that for them to sleep with. Like, that's actually their reward, to have multiple virgins to sleep with. You know, let me look up real quick. What is the reward for a woman who dies in Islam religion? 1 second. Let me see. What happens? Yeah, I don't really hear people talk about what happens to the woman after death in Islam. To women. Let's see. What happens to women in Islam after death? 1 second. Women in the afterlife. According to Orthodox Islam, women do not have souls. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's what it says. The Islamic view is seen from Quran and tradition. According to the Orthodox Islam, women do not have souls. This is rather a tough position to be in if you happen to live in a highly religious culture. The most basic relationship in Islamic society is not between man and woman, but between man and God. It is definitely not between women and God. Well, wow. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. Another article. I don't feel like doing any research right now. But basically, you get the point. It's not very popular, at least, to speak about women in afterlife. But what's promised is that men will have multiple virgins. Maybe when women die, they'll become the virgins in heaven. I don't know. Somebody let me know, because I don't know. But I really want to just focus on the fact that for centuries, even in ancient times, polygamy seemed to have been something that men are always at the forefront of its benefit. Like, it's always that the men have multiple wives, the men have multiple girlfriends, the men also can have thoughts on standby. And apparently, even in the afterlife, they're supposed to have multiple women. And it's just hard to believe that this idea or these like texts that are written back then are not just like rigged to be for the benefit of the man. But now today, fast forward in 2021, people are still trying to have this polygamous relationship. And it's crazy to me that it's women who are really like out here defending it. I really don't see the benefit for the women in these polygamous relationships. Like, if you listen to people talk about polygamy, like I was watching this one video on YouTube, and it was about this guy who was talking about how he has 2 girlfriends and his 2 girlfriends were there. And they were asked questions about, like, how are they in a relationship? Are they happy? And they asked how their dynamic goes. And the dynamic that she spoke about was that the 2 girls, right? They don't really have a relationship because that's the way the guy wants it. They're like, oh, we like, someone asks, do you have a relationship with each other? Like, do you girls have a relationship with each other along with the relationship you have with the guy? And it's just like, no, we offer something different to him. So, like, what she lacks, I would pick up for her, and vice versa. And, everything that we do is really for him, and that's how he likes it. And it's like, wow. Basically he doesn't want them to have a relationship outside of him. So they're just really supposed to be there for him. And they're like, yeah, we love it, and he keeps us happy. And it's like, they're asking questions about, like, if you do something special for one girl, does the other girl get jealous? And then they're talking about, of course there's some, like, of course there's, I don't know if they said it was jealousy, but they were saying, like, both of them have, like, understanding that they have a relationship with him. Like, it's just some crazy foolishness to me. And I guess I'm choosing not to have an open mind about it. I don't want to have an open mind about that, because I think that people take advantage of people, and it's usually men in power. I feel like they take advantage of situations, and I don't really want to see their perspective. So that's why I don't really want to remain impartial to the situation like I originally intended. Just don't feel like it tonight. Not tonight. Maybe I'll do that another day where I'll discuss their, like, viewpoints. But I just think it's a whole bunch of crap. To me, it just sounds like a guy wants to now get a pass for cheating. And then watch. I was just about to say he just wants a pass for cheating. I bet money right now he's still cheating on both of them. And that's the thing. I believe that women enter these polygamous relationships thinking that, oh, well, at least I know the other person that he's sleeping with. But then I also hear in these polygamous relationships that these men still step out of that polygamous relationship or that polygamous agreement. So I'm like, even the benefit of, oh, okay, at least I know what he's doing. And that you guys have, like, this open relationship where you guys can tell each other everything, so you wouldn't have to worry about him being dishonest. Like, I still see that there's still dishonesty in polygamy. And it's never two-sided. Like, you won't see often, at least, a woman who says, well, I have 2 boyfriends or I have 2 husbands, and he's cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, can I be like, I have 2 boyfriends, and then they both know each other. They sitting there with me on the podcast talking about we do it for her. You know what I mean? Like, and then somebody asks them, do you guys have a relationship outside of being with IBG? And they be like, nah, because that's the way she wants it. Like, we're here for her. So, like, what I lack, the other, Gerard picks up. You know what I mean? Vice versa. Like, you just won't probably hear that. Like, it just won't be something that you'll hear or see. And I bet money if I was to come out and say that, I bet I would probably be ridiculed or dragged on the internet for being a thought, But a guy, he's, like, cool and revered. And then he has old ancient texts to really back up his lifestyle. But I just feel like it's just not fair. And then it's like we're trying to adapt to the harsh reality or the dark reality that men seem to not be held accountable for cheating. So now, because it happens so often, now we have to adapt by, like, okay, well, you know what? Love is love, okay? And at least I would want to know that, who you're with. And at least we have an understanding and we can have that open relationship because I love you. And, like, all that crap, like, no. Like, you're just weak. I feel like it's weak. And I don't feel like it's gonna work. And I just believe that if you feel like you need to be with other people, then don't be in a relationship with me. We're not in a relationship. You can be single and then be with multiple women, but I don't want to be a part of that. Don't tell me that we're in a relationship and then you're gonna see other people, because then we're single. And even that friends with benefit thing, like it's just too many things in life that are just not fair. And it's like everybody's doing the wrong thing. And I'm tired of it. It's like we keep adapting to the wrong stuff, and it's always the woman who gets left out. Like, it's not for our benefit to adapt to these things. We got girls out here talking about they want to be like thoughts for real and proudly being that. Then we got girls who want to say that they proudly be in polygamous relationships where it's all for him because he wants it. We got to be having threesomes with niggas, and we're not about that life. You're not gay, but you bring a woman into your relationship because you feel like it's gonna make him happy. That's so ridiculous, because I doubt a guy's gonna bring another guy in just to make you happy. If he does, it's for his benefit. He's gay. I bet money. I don't see a straight guy, because there's straight women that would bring in a girl to the bedroom to please a guy. But a straight man bringing in a guy to please a girl just won't happen. I bet money he's just actually gay. And I guess somebody would be like, well, if she's having sex with somebody, wouldn't that make her gay? Let me stop before I get canceled for talking about the LGBTQI community. My point is that I feel like women do a lot of things that they don't really want to do to please a guy. And polygamy is one of those things. So that's my opinion on it. I'm probably missing some stuff. But that's just the gist of what I think of polygamy. What do you guys think? Let me know. All right, let's talk to y'all tomorrow.
You are listening to the Introverted Black Girl.